welcome back to Can to Be Like, a bilingual Cantonese and English podcast on Cantonese and Hong Kong culture. It's your host Venus. I am a native of Cantonese and I grew up in the UK. Today's podcast is the last episode of the grocery shopping in Hong Kong series. So for those of you that haven't listened to our Cantonese Hong Kong shopping tips and listening exercises, feel free to check them out. They are labeled as chapter 2 and 2.1, and this would be 2.2. So as promised in the previous episodes, today we're going to do a Cantonese and English bilingual podcast. And I'm gonna teach you some phrases that you can use in the wet market and some useful vocabularies for grocery shopping in Hong Kong. Without further ado, let's dive in. Like we mentioned previously, when you shop at the wet market, it's very common for the hawkers or sellers to throw in freebies. So I will teach you a scenario that will happen at the vegetable stands. So it means to throw in an extra spring onion. So it goes like this. 阿姐唔該搭多棵葱啊. And I repeat. 阿姐唔該搭多棵葱啊. 阿姐 is like a respectful way to address the female seller at the store. And 搭多棵葱 means to throw in an extra onion, which is very normal for Cantonese household because we always need extra spring onion for our dishes. People usually go to the wet market for freshness of the produce, so you will hear them advertising for that as well. And you will hear seller yelling things like, 今日啲菜好新鮮啊. I repeat, 今日啲菜好新鮮啊. This loosely translates to today's produce is really fresh. And you will just hear everyone shouting that at this wet market. And yeah. And in the wet market, there are a lot of sellers and stores, so they will try to attract customers to their individual stores. And you will hear them shouting things like, 買嚟睇,買嚟揀. I repeat, 買嚟睇,買嚟揀. 買嚟 means come, and 買嚟睇,買嚟揀 simply means come see, come pick, and it's just a way of attracting attention to their stores. And as I say, in the wet market, haggling is actually very common. And the useful strategy that my grandma used is compare one store's price to another. And she will say things like this. 你當平你3蚊喎，可唔可以買平啲啊? I repeat. 喂，隔離當平你3蚊喎，可唔可以買平啲啊? The sentence simply means the next store is $3 cheaper than you. Can you sell it at a cheaper price to me? And I will teach you how to use this phrase. So you start with 喂, which means hey, like to catch the attention of the seller. And 隔離檔 means the next store. And 平你3蚊 is cheaper than you by $3. So you can say 平你, insert your price. 蚊, it means cheaper by X price than you. A quick recap of counting in Cantonese. 1 to 10. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if you want to say they're selling it at $10 lower, you can say 平你10蚊. And then cheaper than you by $6 is 平你6蚊. And it goes on like that. And the last bit of the phrase is 可唔可以買平啲俾我啊? Is can you sell it at a cheaper price? And the next thing is also a haggling strategy, which is if you are a patron, like if you are a frequent visitor, customers of the store, you can use this. So it goes like this. 我成日嚟幫襯嘅喎，可唔可以平啲啊? I repeat. 我成日嚟幫襯嘅喎，可唔可以買平啲啊? As you have noticed, the last part of the phrase is 可唔可以買平啲啊? which we have already learned in the previous section. So it basically means can you sell it at a cheap price? And 我成日嚟幫襯嘅喎 basically means I am a frequent customers. 成日嚟幫襯 is I come to this store all the time. 幫襯 is just saying you buy at them all the time. The next thing is useful to use if you are buying fish at the fishmonger. So a lot of the time the fish is not gutted, so they have all the internal organs still there, like hanging around. It's a bit nasty and it takes a lot of time to deal with that yourself when you get home. So it's a good idea to ask them to take care of that for you at the store. So it goes like this. 喂，可唔可以幫我劏埋啊? I repeat. 喂，可唔可以幫我劏埋啊? So this is a question. 可唔可以 means can you, and 劏 is the verb of describing the act of descaling and gutting and processing a raw fish. So 可唔可以幫我劏埋啊? And the next phrase is useful if you're at the fruit store or at the vegetable store. So as I said, you are buying something very fresh, and the storekeeper are actually very knowledgeable in picking the best produce for you. So if you want like avocado or like a melon that is more like, what's the English word for this? Like mature, like ready to be eaten, and you can say things like and the adjective to describe that is sok in Cantonese, so you can ask them to pick something more sok for you. The phrases go like this. 可唔可以幫我揀個熟啲㗎? And I repeat. 可唔可以幫我揀個熟啲㗎? And again, this is a question start with can, like 可唔可以? But like when native speaker say can, it's like 可唔可以 instead of 可唔可以, like 可唔可以? So it's like a bit of like a liaison if you know French, but like a way of speeding up our speech, so to sound more effortless. So 可唔可以 is the can you, the start of the sentence. So 揀個熟啲嘅 is to pick something that's more ready to be eaten, ready to eat. So 可唔可以幫我揀個熟啲㗎? You can say that to the melon seller who is picking the best watermelon for you and your family. And also I want to move on to the payment now. So sometimes they will tell you they don't accept cash if you whack out a credit card or an octopus card trying to pay them. So the phrases goes like this. 唔好意思啊，我哋唔收現金㗎. I repeat. 唔好意思啊，我哋唔收現金㗎. So 唔好意思 means I'm sorry. So it's just a common phrase, like a polite phrase to say, oh no, like I can't do this, like I'm sorry. And 我哋唔收現金 is really a simple phrase. It literally means we don't accept cash. 現金 is cash. And small amount banknote and like changes is called 散紙, which I will teach you a phrase related to that in the next section. So imagine you are at the wet market, but you only have 500 notes and 1,000 notes on you, and you don't have any changes, you don't have any 散紙. So you will say things like this to the boss of the store. 唉，我冇散紙添. I repeat. 唉，我冇散紙添. It's like you make the sound from your throat. It's like 唉, which is a bit like alas or like oh no, that kind of meaning. And we make the sound like 唉. And 我冇散紙添 is I don't have change. 我冇散紙添. I don't have change. So arriving at our final phrase, which is a bit of like a common phrase to use in supermarket and wet market, and I will explain a little bit about the background of this. So, like in a lot of countries and regions, Hong Kong has a tax for plastic bags. I don't think it applies to wet market because they do give out plastic bags all the time for the produce. But in supermarket, you will be charged around, I think now is $1 Hong Kong for an extra plastic bag. So in case you don't have your recyclable bag with you, and you're asking for a plastic bag, the conversation will go a bit like this. So the cashier person will ask you this: 要唔要個袋啊? I repeat, 要唔要個袋啊? Which means, do you need a bag? And if you need a bag, you would say, 好啊，唔該，要個袋啊. I repeat, 好啊，唔該，要個袋啊. So 好啊 is yes, and 唔該 is thank you, but in this case is more like a polite way to start a sentence to like say please. And 要個袋啊 is I need a bag. So 唔該要個袋啊 is like please I need a bag. And to throw in an extra so that you are not caught off guard, the cashier person will follow with telling you the bag will be charged for $1. So they will say something like, 要收1蚊嘅喎，O 唔 OK 啊? I repeat, 要收1蚊嘅喎，O 唔 OK 啊? Which simply means, we're gonna charge you for $1. Are you okay with that? So you just reply with okay, or just yes, or anything. So just so that you know that you will not be caught off guard. So this is your starter pack to wet market lingo in Hong Kong. So hopefully it will give you some confidence of making a little excursion to your local wet market, and hopefully buy something from the fishmonger or the butcher. It's gonna be such an interesting experience. Let me know how it goes. So thanks for listening to another episode of Canto Be Like. Let me know in the comment. Actually no, Spotify disabled my comment. Just DM me on Instagram. I will link my account below for any content ideas and feedback on the episodes. So thanks for listening, and I will see you next time. 好多謝收聽，下次再見，拜拜。